Hey, what's up? It's Stef from Stefanies Rock Show, and you're watching SMT Music News. Hi, this is Stephanie with StefaniesRockShow.com, Hard Rock Radio Live, and SMNnews.com. We've got the electric, talented, mega cool, mega hot David of Megadeth. Thank you for coming on the show.
You're welcome, Stephanie.
You guys started in '86. You guys have been going for about 26 years.
Yeah, Dave and I actually met in '83 is when we started Megadeth officially. Our first shows were in 1984. And then our first record was '85. And that was actually, I think, when we came through here, I believe, was on that very first tour in 1985.
Awesome.
And we came through. There's a Canadian metal band called Exciter, so it was Exciter and Megadeth, and it was lean and mean and low dough, but man, great memories. You know, sometimes those tours are the ones that the memories last forever from.
Yeah.
Hey, we're Megadeth. You're not. We're in Jacksonville. We should be in Daytona, and Backstreet's coming up next. What more could you ask for?
You gotta take advantage of life right now, because being a young man, you know, your sexual potency only lasts so long. We've kind of sucked the bone marrow out of America to keep ourselves going, and I'm sure there's a lot of girls out there that can acknowledge that, you know, we're still happening physically, and you know, you gotta go for it.
So what are you saying, Dave?
I'm saying I have an excuse for yesterday, but
okay.
Today I'm happening.
I mean, life, death, sex. It's pretty happening to me, you know?
Yeah.
What else is there? Beer, maybe? Beer. There's a better place for me, but it's
A lot of bands that toured in the '80s don't have the memory.
I know. I'm pretty fortunate. My memory, and it's funny, between me and Dave, if you ask both of us stories, he'll remember things, I'll remember things, and between the two of us, you kind of get the whole story.
Memory.
Exactly, yeah.
I like.
What do you have to say to kids who want to make it as a rock star?
Don't. I'm in this business for the reason that Megadeth is in this business, and that's because of attitude, integrity, and music. No, the main thing, we don't ever get any time off, and that's okay, because that's how we want it. I mean, we live on a tour bus anyway, and tour bus hotel rooms and backstage rooms and stuff, you know, eating catered chicken and stuff like that.
Oh, I know.
But
when we were on tour with Alice Cooper, it was like chicken every night. Now with Dio, it's Italian food.
So you actually started with keyboards, I read. That was kind of interesting. And then 11, you picked up bass. What made you want to pick up?
Well, keyboards to the degree that my mother suggested I take. We didn't have a piano. We had a Wurlitzer organ. You know, she sang in the church choir, right? So we had like a Wurlitzer organ. So I took organ lessons from like one of the neighbor ladies who was like the church organist. You know, and I mean, this was just music I can't even. I shudder to remember it. You know what I mean? But it, yeah, exactly, pretty much. You know, so it taught me to read treble clef with the left hand, bass clef with the right, and then you have also on an organ you got a foot pedal. You know, so you're kind of. I guess it's good if you're going to be a drummer, because you're kind of used to doing those things.
All over the place.
Yep. And then you know, 5th grade I picked up tenor saxophone. It was the coolest looking instrument, you know.
Yeah.
And then it's.
Did it get you laid in 5th grade?
No,
was that?
It did not. No, it did not. It did not. It took the bass to do that, actually. Yeah. But that was much later, because I started playing bass at age 11, and I quickly got in with some guys. We put a band together. We were doing little concerts at age 12, 13, you know, so I got into it very young. And it's interesting you bring up about SEX and those kind of things, because that all came, you know, I didn't know about sex and drugs. I was just into rock and roll.
we don't want to sit here and talk about all kinds of perverted sexual games we do on tour. We don't sit here and talk about drugs. We don't talk about a lot of the same old rehash stuff that bands keep doing over and over again in this business. We're on the road so much that you have to keep your wits about you. This music is technical music. It is harder to play than most of the average rock bands out there, and I think that you need to keep your chops in shape, and you need to keep your health in shape.
Public enemy number one.
I want to know, one of my favorite songs and intros is Peace Sells. Where were you when you started that intro?
You know, Dave and I were basically homeless. Which, as we were during the first couple records of Megadeth's career, and
the best music's made.
We were living actually with the guy who co-produced and engineered the "Killing Is My Business" record, our first album. His name was Carrot Fay, and he lived up in Laurel Canyon. And we were at his house, and I had this BC Rich bass that we ripped the frets out of it, so it was fretless. And I think Dave picked it up, and he was starting to write like the riff of the song, and was kind of noodling around on it. He said, "Here, play this part," and hands me the bass. And then that night we drive and we pick up Gar Samuelson, who lived up in Pasadena, and we went downtown L.A. where our rehearsal place was, where we also lived from time to time.
Yeah.
And
bad places to be homeless, Laurel Canyon, downtown LA.
I would. Homeless meaning we usually had a roof over our head, but it was either the van that I owned or our rehearsal studio, or just poor hapless people that didn't know we were moving in with them. But
hot chicks in the Viper Room, kind of whoever was.
Yeah, once in a while. Once in a while. But, you know, those things have an attachment to them, too, so we tried to stay away from some of that.
Psycho.
Yeah, exactly. So anyway, so that was when Peace Sells was written, was around that whole thing. And I remember the music was coming together, and Dave, I would drive. Dave was always, you know, right-hand seat. And
he was a good passenger.
No, and it was fun.
He was excellent.
A lot of creative things would happen. I'd be driving, and we'd be talking, he'd be thinking. All of a sudden, the moment of silence, and then all of a sudden he goes, "What do you think about Peace Sells, but who's buying?" I mean, it just came to him one day in the van.
So tell us about your book, Unsung.
It's my first self-published thing. I'm not really wasn't that hip to it, except a friend of mine did a poetry book, and I loved it. It was so cool, and that's when the idea actually hit me when we were at home in December over the Christmas break. One day I opened up a folder and I had all these lyrics, and I was thinking, man, I should do something with these, but I don't want to make a solo album, and I don't want, you know, to put music together to lyrics. It takes a lot of time. I'm not in that mindset because we're on a Megadeth tour right now. Yeah. So all of a sudden the idea was like, you know, let's put some photos and images to this. So anyway, the team came together quickly. We've been working on it for the last couple of months, and it's a lot of different lyrics of various types, some very kind of deep things, some light inspirational things. And because it's not set to music, it doesn't have to be categorized as like it's a metal album or it's an inspirational album. Lyrically, it can kind of have a little bit of all of it together. So, yeah, it's called Unsung Words and Images. It's going to be out, like I say, probably next week. I'm going to be able to release it. Yeah. So, and what's kind of cool about it is I believe we're going to be able to have a hardcover and soft cover, and those will be a little bit more money, but then I believe also maybe some digital distribution on it, which would be a lot less money.
iTunes and Amazon.
Exactly, yeah. So, and you won't, you know, obviously if it comes through iTunes, you won't be able to physically hold it, but you know, with digital readers and things like that, you'll be able to still get the book, and it should be cool.
As many people as possible everywhere.
Yeah, it should be a fun read, and people I think will enjoy the images that go along with the lyrics.
What is this garbage you're watching? I want to watch the news.
Are you making headway at least?
This is the news.